Hi, fourth graders. As you work on your writing today, you're going to be focusing on transition words. So just as a reminder, here is the success criteria for including transition words to help organize your writing. Use words in each section to help the reader understand how one piece of information connects with others. Use words and phrases such as before, later, next, then, and after. Those are just a few examples of transition words. So the first task you're going to do today is you're going to look at slide 42, which looks like this, and you're going to go through your parts of your writing that you've already drafted and look for transition words you've already used. Chances are, since you're a fourth grader, you are already using a lot of transition words just naturally in your writing. So think of this as a little scavenger hunt. You're going to go back through and look for the words that you use that glue parts together or connect how ideas relate. So you can think of transition words as fitting into different categories. This side here of the chart, words and phrases I use to glue parts of the writing together. That might be something like words that show how one thing causes something else, or that one thing happens, in a specific order than something else. And I'll show you a couple examples in just a second. But there are also transition words that mark the passage of time. You'll see this a lot in narrative writing, like one thing happens after the next, and those transition words help organize the events that are happening. But just like narrative writing, in biographies, you're telling a story. You're telling a true story of somebody's life. So you're also going to have a lot of these transition words and phrases that show the passage of time. So let's take a look at a couple examples. You may have seen this sheet here that could help you already, but let's go over it again just to remind ourselves. So you've got these different categories of transition words. Remember, transition words and phrases connect ideas together, but there's many different ways to connect ideas together. There's time, how one thing might happen before something else or at the same time as something else. There's place, where are things happening and how is that different from what other things that are happening. How important are things? Maybe there's an order that things occur in, and that's important to convey to the reader. Cause and effect, again, something happens as a result of something else. Comparison, where you're comparing two different ideas, so showing how they're similar or different. Contrasting is that different piece. And sometimes transition words help show that something is an example of something else. So example, a tornado is a type of storm. It's an example of a storm. And then finally, you might have transition words that signal to the reader that you're adding on information. So words like again, also, additionally, in addition, furthermore. So make sure that you take a look at this list, because this is going to give you some ideas. It'll help you not only identify the words you're already using naturally, but also come up with other words that might be good for you to include in your writing. So as you consider these examples and you're combing through the rest of your writing to see which words you've already used that are transition words, you're going to go ahead and highlight those words in your writing in yellow. So anytime you see a word that's either something that glues information together, shows how one thing is connected to the other, or shows the passage of time, how one thing happens first and then something else later, you're going to highlight those words and phrases in yellow. So chances are some of these words are already in your writing. Highlight those in yellow. Then you'll take a look at your writing and you'll decide, where is there some places that I have not yet used transition words, and does it make sense to put them in? So jot down some ideas on slide 43 about what you can add to your essay, and then go back and add those words in your writing. And one final thought before you begin, transition words are added because they serve a purpose. They serve one of these purposes here on the side, that they're showing the relationship between two different things. Now, if you don't need a transition word, you don't have to add one. Sometimes sentences make sense and fit together without a transition word. But you'll want to make sure that you consider adding some of these to help each of your sentences make sense to the reader.